and welcome everybody to this week's Market Share, the short weekly segment brought to you by MKArt, where we bring you all the noteworthy news and updates surrounding digital media and the world today. I'm your host Genevieve, and we've got some cool stories for you today, so let's get started. First up, let's talk about Facebook and the latest saga that is a Facebook bug that led to increased views of harmful content over the last 6 months. Engineers found a massive ranking failure that exposed half of all news feeds to potential integrity risks throughout the last 6 months. It was noticed for the first time back in October 2021 when an unexpected surge of misinformation started to go through the newsfeed. In this case, the newsfeed should have been suppressing the post by these misinformation offenders, but instead it was giving the distribution of the posts that spiked views up to 30% all over the world. After watching this kind of distribution ebb and flow, the ranking issue was finally figured out during March. During the problematic time, Facebook systems were failing to actually demote posts that included nudity, violence, and even Russian state media at the beginning of the country's invasion of Ukraine. Although they were able to fix the problem eventually, this has really raised a red flag and begged the question of what is the Facebook platform capable of doing when its systems go awry? Facebook leaders regularly boast about how their AI systems are getting better every year. But obviously, this incident shows why there is such a need for more transparency across the platform. Step up your accountability, Facebook, before the problems get too large to fix. Next up, let's continue on the Facebook train and a new study that has revealed why Facebook ads can miss the target. Researchers from North Carolina State University already knew that Facebook creates interest profiles for users based on their activities, but their new study found that the process doesn't totally account for the context of the activities. So say that you posted something along the lines of, "I hate cats." Facebook would only register you posting the word cats and would miss the part about you hating them, thus showing you more content around cats, much to your chagrin. We as the public do not have a very clear idea of the process that Facebook uses to determine the activities of its users, which is very concerning to people and companies who want to reach a certain target audience. There are two major issues here, the first of which is the economic impact it can have on certain pages running ads. Say you spend $200 to reach a cat-loving audience, but half of your ads go to people who have posted about cats but just so happen to despise them. You lose virtually half of the money you spent by targeting the wrong people. The second main issue is privacy concerns. By collecting data this way with no regard to the context in which the data is found, you could possibly have inaccurate data being shared about people on multiple platforms, not just Facebook. With these concerns in mind, make sure to keep pestering Facebook into increased levels of transparency. And hopefully, in the coming months or years, we will learn more about how this process actually works. Next, let's walk through a few of the key points mentioned in Instagram's recently released guide for how to grow and scale your small business. First up, driving awareness and building community. Yes, it takes time to do these things, but the professional dashboard feature, community-generated content, boosted posts, and reels can help you make huge strides in this area. Second, stay focused on getting your next customer by using stories, stickers, and other creative surfaces available to educate your customers on your brand and its personality. Finally, excite customers and increase sales through Instagram Direct, ads that click to WhatsApp, Instagram Shopping, and product tags. I know these are simplified tips, but you can find more detail to get your small business off the ground in the link below. Fourth up on our docket today is a story on the power of recycling. We usually don't get too into environmental issues on Market Share, but this story was able to connect our love for the planet to one of our most used sites, Google. Recycling has become one of the top search topics on Google, and apparently supporting eco-conscious brands is a top priority for the 82% of consumers who have deemed sustainability extremely important to them. As more and more companies have started to make conscious decisions to help the environment, Google has introduced the new recycling attribute that merchants can add to their business profiles on Google, making it easier for people to find recycling points near them on search and maps. This recycling attribute can apply to plastic bottles, electronics, batteries, or even clothes. Obviously, Google has taken this first step to support recycling efforts, but we can expect in the future to see even more attributes added to business profiles to help make searching for important things easier. Last up today, Twitter is testing some new, more interactive formats for Twitter's ad suite. As they've been trying to simplify the available ad options, Twitter has seen untapped potential to create more innovative ad formats that will add value for both parties, the advertiser and the consumer. They want to allow for more creative storytelling and a more immersive, rewarding, and interactive experience. In order to do this, they have created 3 new types of ads. 1. Interactive text ads. These will have larger, bolder typeface, and you'll be able to highlight up to 3 words in the ad copy that can drive consumers to a landing page. 2. Product Explorer ads. These will allow advertisers to showcase their products in 3D so consumers can swipe and rotate to get different angles of the product before they hit the shop button to purchase. And 3. Collection ads. These operate more or less like carousel ads, but believe me, are we happy to see this ability come to Twitter, especially considering their hefty ad prices. So we encourage you to mess around with the increased functionality on Twitter ads and find a way to make the story you're selling authentically your own. That's all for this week's Market Share. My name's Genevieve, and I'll see you all next week. Facebook systems were failing to actually demote posts that included, what? Nifty? What is my writing? Google has introduced the, sorry, I went too fast and it ran out of words.